The exchange from back to breast can be done lots of ways. There are faster ways, slower ways. There's ways that are safer, meaning you don't get disqualified. And we're going to show you two main exchanges here. One is the one we use at Auburn for most of our individual medley swimmers. And what we do there is a crossover turn. And basically, as a swimmer comes into the wall, they'll take the last backstroke stroke and they'll come over on the line here. If you cross the line, you get disqualified. You have to stay on the back side of your stroke. Bring the bicep behind the ear, and as you touch the wall, you do basically a front flip turn, and then come off on your side. As you watch Jeremy here, you'll see him be able to come off the wall and get to his front immediately. What you don't want to have happen is come over here across your face, or even if you're back here and touch the wall, you don't want to come off completely on your back. You have to be rotated toward the stomach. With a back to breast turn, you want to be able to do the turn at mid-pool before you bring it to the wall. One of the most challenging parts of the turn is to actually come over and be legal behind your ear and touch the wall. So you want to learn how to do the turn without actually having to touch the wall at mid-pool level, and then do the turn 3 or 4 inches from the wall, actually missing the wall on purpose, and then finally bring it to the wall and touch the wall. And even when you touch the wall, it's not a big plant. You just swipe the wall with your hand enough to be part of the front flip. And now on the back to breast, coming from the plant, pause, find your position before you release from the wall. Crossover, be sure you're over on your front before you push off the wall. As you come out narrow, settle into that IM tempo. Tight, give a little glide off the wall and establish your tempo coming off. Now approaching the wall with an open turn, just a little bit safer for most of you out there. Knees up in your chest, good streamline, accelerate for the pull-out. Keep that head down as you come toward the surface. You did a nice job of staying narrow.
What you're going to see Whitney do, I'm going to try and describe this to you on the deck here. Some of the things that are important to watch. And this looks a little more complicated than it really is, but know that it will take some time in order for you to teach your athletes how to do this. It's not a crossover and it's not a rollover, because as you'll see when we touch the wall, you never can go past parallel. So you can't go past the mark of one shoulder, the shoulder leaning over the other. So it's very important that when you do this, your shoulders are going to be perpendicular as the furthest you can go. You can't go past that. So when she's going to reach for the wall, she's going to extend back, and when she goes for the wall, she's going to use her right hand. Her right hip is going to come up, and she's going to rotate on her left hip. Obviously, vice versa on the other side. She touches with her left hand. Her left hip is going to be up, and she's going to pivot on her right hip. Important things here are, when you go for the wall, you don't want to touch too deep. You don't want to throw your head back that you drive yourself too deep on the turn, but you want to extend, keep a nice line. You're going to be, as I look straight at the camera, you'll be about in this position. She's going to touch behind her head, not reach over, not back here, touch behind her head. She's going to get her chin kind of up into the armpit area, and she's going to rotate and come about 3/4 with her legs, and then she'll push off. Now, there's been a lot, years ago there used to be a complete backflip turn where you would go to the wall and come completely over with your legs. What I like about this is it takes a lot less effort, it's a lot faster, it's a lot cleaner, and she still gets to take a good breath prior to the turn. Whitney's kind of a short person, and So for her to make the transition from this to go from back to breast, it's pretty easy, or certainly easier than someone that's a little bit taller. But it doesn't matter what your height, you can do this. It just takes some practice. And you want your athletes to be able to do it with both hands as well. Let's go ahead and do another turn either on that arm or a different arm, and we'll watch her do this right now. It's great if you can get your heels out of the water. It just makes for a little bit more foot speed coming over to the wall. Let's try one on your left hand. This is something that we started working on with Whitney from the very first day she got here. And she's good both sides. Good job. So it's, again, this is just, when you're swimming a 200 individual medley, it's a speed race. Certainly don't want to waste any time on the walls. Want to be very efficient. You want to be clean, and you want to be able to set up your pull-out. You want to make sure you're comfortable and you've got a good dip.
See her leg drive sustain as she comes over and rotates into her turn. Coming off the wall, accelerates the kickouts, transitions into her flutter kick, and then up into her stroke. The final tip from Margaret is to make sure that as you see the flags, the next motion is to plant your feet on the wall solid. What we don't want to do is have the feet closed off together. We'd like to have a little bit of a split in your feet in order to give you a firm foundation as you plant those feet and then begin your push off. Okay, swimmers, from the underwater shot, I want you to notice how when she rotates, it's a smooth rotation. You don't see her rising up or falling down deeply. As she moves to the wall, she submerges slowly, rotates, flat line. Notice her head isn't sticking up, it's all in a line, then she transitions to her flutter kick. That's what I want you to look like on your backstroke turns. Be sure as you come through the breakout, you come off and settle yourself into your racing plane. You don't pop up or stay too low. So that rotation over, plant your feet, push off in that flat line, bring in the body dolphin work.